Greg, what originally inspired you to pursue your career in the kitchen, and how did that lead you here?
Originally, I went for my first Michelin star meal when I was 17, and I was just like, wow, it was mind-blowingly good. Yeah, I can still remember everything I ate, and I can just remember, and it was really proper classical French. All the front of the house were in like these long black things. The wine list was this size, and it was like tablecloths, the silver cutlery, and the whole thing I just found sort of magic. I was like, this is incredible. It's always exciting going to a restaurant when you're young, isn't it? When you go to like the pub and whatever,
yeah.
and it's always so exciting. But then when I went there, I was like, oh my god, this is wow. So yeah, that's what made me want to work at a certain level, for sure.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
What an experience for a 17-year-old as well.
Yeah.
And then, so how did it lead you? Obviously, you were at Morton Hall for a while. How did it lead you on to exploring or having this opportunity and going for it?
Rebecca, my partner, and I, we'd been at Morton for like about 6 years. I think we were just kind of
ready for the...
Yeah, it was just kind of, I think it was just time for the next step, and then we heard about this place, and then it was a sort of struggle to sort of make it happen financially, and then we managed to get there, and it happened naturally and sort of organically. And then there was no, it just felt like there was no progression up anymore, so then it was time to
forge your own path in that way, and there's that partnership as well by the sounds of it.
Exactly. It was just a natural progress.
Awesome. And Meadowsweet has built a very strong reputation for refined seasonal cooking and excellent service. So when we had a look on Google, I can't remember, one of our team literally called it the 5-star reviews that you guys have managed to earn. So how would you describe your philosophy of the place?
Rebecca and I always wanted to create somewhere that we would want to go. So nice bedrooms upstairs, relaxed atmosphere in here. Things like the wine list, for example, is enormous for a restaurant this size, but it's so interesting. There's so many great bottles of wine you can buy at a good price. So little things like that. It's just a place that we wanted to create. Same with the cooking, just a tasting menu, but not like a 4 or 5 hour sit down tasting menu, but still like an evening out. Yes, I mean that was everything we do is based on. Is that something we would like?
Absolutely. So it sounds like it's kind of like a blend of having that eye for detail, but also that level of comfort.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and hopefully people just get on board with our idea of what we think a good restaurant is.
And a great evening out.
Exactly.
Yeah. Brilliant. And your menu often highlights the local produce. So talk us through how you built your network of suppliers and producers and how important that is in your process.
Yeah, so all the local stuff comes from my time at Michelin, because I met a lot of like John the Fish, who's round the corner, he's literally like 100 metres round the corner. He'd supplied Michelin for 25 years or something. And then John the Fish introduced me to Henry, who does the lobsters, and Henry comes every day with lobsters and crabs. And then there's the butchers in town, E&S, so Paul and Simon, they do all the local game, so especially this time of year there's a lot of that. And again from Michelin, and then Lucy, who I managed to take on at Michelin, was growing the vegetables there for us. And she'd moved on, but she's still growing the vegetables for us here at Meadowsweet, so that's really nice. Again, just sort of organically and just meeting people. I think if you want to try and create something special, then those kind of people you sort of naturally gravitate.
Absolutely, and you keep them in your...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I think we share the same ethos, and we always try and look after them as well. Because sometimes Henry does the lobsters, and we're like, Henry, these are like way too cheap.
Oh,
this is ridiculous. Awesome. So yeah, we try and look after them, and then in time they always look after us, because if we need something, if something's happened and we need something, they always...
Are there for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really nice.
It sounds like a genuine relationship rather than like a transaction.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, 100%. Because we get on really well with them, and every time we drop off, they're here for like 20 minutes, just chatting about whatever. Henry's bringing his 3-year-old son now, who's named his new boat after. So it's so nice. Because Henry's like third generation fisherman. So
That's incredible.
Yeah, really, those kind of relationships. And they're really special and really unique for a restaurant, because I've worked in loads of Michelin star restaurants, and that just doesn't
happen.
Yeah.
And I think it's also a testament to your dedication, the fact that you're willing to invest the time and the energy to maintain such relationships when you're running the restaurant and you're running the team and everything else. In addition to that you're taking time out that you care about that aspect is something that's quite unique, isn't it?
I mean, because you can't create the good food without the produce. Like you need the produce. I always found it strange in restaurants, because like the chef would always get really angry if something didn't come in. Like, well, if the fisherman can't catch it, then it's not going to be.
Not much.
Yeah, like there's just and the chefs used to get so angry, like, oh my god, you've not got this certain size fish. And it's like, well, yeah, but if you can't fish it, what's he supposed to do? Like, so
and it's the beauty of food as well, isn't it? That you just have to capitalise and make the most of what is there. And if it's not there, then it's not there.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it more special when it is there as well.
Absolutely.
Because then you're in these micro seasons of like delicious things, which is really nice.
Makes you exactly value the time that you've got with that. So. Speaking of which, so can you talk us through the process of actually developing a dish from sort of idea, where does that come from, and then how is it delivered?
So the produce always first, so whatever's in season / whatever we've preserved from seasons before. So we usually start with a list of those two things, and then from there, again, to whatever I think is delicious. Rebecca and I, we go to as many restaurants as we can. So then there's always these little things that you remember, like when we were in Paris, we had X, Y, Z, and it was so delicious. So let's do something inspired by that. I always start with the produce, and then just pairing it with things that are in season and that you think are delicious, and the things you might have preserved that might give it like another little interesting touch. Finally, the sauces are really important. We take a lot of time and care making the sauces, and we feel that really brings the dish together. Yeah, those things are the
aspects.
Yeah.
And in terms of the development that you're working on, is it kind of like a continual process?
Yeah, so some things quicker than others. Some things are like, we're working on a chestnut thing for the winter at the moment, and it is just terrible. It's just not. It's not
working through.
But sometimes it's really quick. Sometimes it's off the cuff because it needs to be. Like the produce, like the fish dish last night, we couldn't get the fish, we couldn't get the vegetables we wanted, so we just, then you're relying on other dishes you might have done before. And then things like, we do a really classic hair dish at this time of year, which customers who ate last year have come back for specifically to eat this year, which is really nice. So we've developed that one further this year. So things like those seasonal treats that we'll try and then develop year on year. But because we're only here for a short time, you just sort of, it's on for 6 weeks and then that's it till next year.
And I suppose that kind of helps as well with having customers return, is the fact that if they're looking for that special hair dish, they know what time to return back to, or if they're looking for something a little bit different, they know that they can visit in the summer or the spring.
Exactly. It's really nice.
Fantastic. How has your experience of running your restaurant developed your values or approach from creative, sustainable or ethical perspective? So I suppose, how have you changed since taking on Meadowsweet?
We've tried to stay really true to what we believe in the back of our eye, and probably a lot to the business detriment. Because you look at things like, this is not, from a business, any business person looking at our business rate, this is so stupid. You look at the wage bill or whatever, or this morning we paid £400 for the citrus fruits that are in season right now. So the Buddha hand, the fresh yuzu, the bergamots and the sudachi. It's such a short season, they're so expensive. What 20-cover restaurant's going to spend that much money on citrus? It's so stupid. But I think we've always tried to stay true to what we believe in, and always be super fair to everyone, the suppliers, the people who work with us in the kitchen and front of house. Make sure everyone's getting, because we ask a lot of them, and in return, it's fair. And we all thought, well, if we do that, then
my my dad said, which is always a phrase that I love repeating, that he told me that having morals is easy, but living by them is much more difficult.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's a testament, especially if, like you're saying, in terms of when people look at how you're running a business, if you're just looking at the ledger and the numbers, it might not seem to be that practical from a business perspective, but people forget that human beings are the businesses, like they're the lifeblood of the organisation, and so if you're running it from a numbers perspective, that's essentially what it's going to boil down to. But if you're talking about human transactions and relationships and growing all of that, then I feel like that's more of a sustainable business method, in my opinion.
I think the customer, because the chefs bring all the food out here and explain it, so then most nights the customers will say to me like, oh my God, the people working here, like they're so enthusiastic and they're so into it, and it's like, well, yeah,
it's a rare thing.
Yeah, because they and they really are. But again, I think it's them from the top. Rebecca and I always here first thing in the morning. We're always here last thing at night.
Just the culture that you kind of
exactly. So then I think for lack of a better expression, if people have got no excuses, then they're like, well, this is what we're doing. So then they get on board or they don't.
Go elsewhere. Yeah, I love that approach. It's quite a funny one because I feel like you've already answered this question, but do you have any advice for aspiring chef owners who are trying to figure out how to balance business pressures, so costs, staffing, margins, etc., with achieving their creative and ethical goals? Because it sounds like it's something that you're constantly balancing.
Yeah, I think just staying true to what you believe in and not doing things like it's be sometimes difficult not to just purely cook for your ego, like like customers, and try and align yourself with what your customers are coming back for, or whatever.
Being honest about that.
Yeah, and I think as long as you do that, I think as long as you stay true to yourself and work hard. I mean, that's definitely number one. Just like working hard towards whatever the goal is.
Is there something that kind of like grounds you? So when you feel things creeping in that don't necessarily feel like either what you should be doing or maybe what the restaurant should be doing, is there something that kind of like brings you back down? Is it just you checking in with yourself, or do you
no, I mean, like Rebecca and I have always
keep each other kind of
like Rebecca's upstairs right now cleaning like the loos from the bedrooms, and like when you came in I was organising bins. I think just doing that stuff.
Normal work.
Yeah, because I mean it's because we always say to everyone working here, like everything is important. I think when the youngest chef sees the owner cleaning the bins, I'm like, oh my God, these bins are important. So then that's
you're leading by example.
Yeah, I think that's really important.
Absolutely, I agree. And so what's the most important lesson you've learned about operating your restaurant in a rural and beautiful community like Hull? And are there any benefits that you think it brings being here?
Yeah, I think getting to know the customers has been really, and I think because as I said, the chefs bring the food out, you really get to know the customers.
Are most of them local, or is there like a mix?
Yeah, a lot of local. Yeah, unless we've got the 3 bedrooms, so people will come from a little bit further. But I mean, saying that, someone who lives in Clyde came to stay the other night.
Fancied it, yeah. Why not?
So yeah, a lot of locals and a lot of people will come back. We've had people this year come every month, which has been nice. And yeah, so I think when we first opened, somebody racked up 50 visits in the first year.
That is awesome.
So you really get to know these people, but then it keeps everything moving, because a lot of Michelin star restaurants, like the menu, will stay the same for 3-6 months, whereas we'll always try and change it if people have eaten a dish before, or try and do something different, unless they specifically want. Because we've got people coming back this week for the hair dish for the second or third time this week.
It must make you proud when you know that these people continually return for your experience.
Yeah, I think probably one thing I have learned is it's not just about the food, it's definitely 100% about the whole experience, and Rebecca looking after them really well. She knows what they like, she knows what table they like to sit on, she knows which side of the table they like to sit on, we know which bread they like, so they get the bread, they get this. So I think just knowing the customer and what they like, then yes, they enjoy the food, but then everything else that goes with it makes it special every time.
It's the delivery of it that's the crucial piece. That's incredible. And how do you see the restaurant evolving in the next couple of years? Do you have any new ideas or directions that you're excited to explore? Sounds like you're always moving, to be quite honest.
I think we've still got a lot of room for refinement with what we produce. I think everything, you look at a lot of things we're doing, and I think we've built quite a good consistent standard, but I just think there's, we're now just sort of
There's further space.
Yeah, just as I say, just a lot of refinement. We're looking at different bits from like service perspective and stuff like that. So yeah, there's lots of things on the list, and
you've still got that ambition and drive to keep moving forward.
I'll never stop. And it's the worst thing about going to these nice restaurants abroad and stuff, and you're like, oh my god, we've got so far to do. There's so much to do.
And that follows on nicely to our last question. So when you're not here working, do you have any favourite eating or relaxing spots, and are they local or further afield?
Yeah, loads.
Yeah.
All over the go. Locally, so the Old Bank in Snettisham, Kevin and Jackie at the Neptune.
Yeah.
New restaurant called Restaurant 1812 in Stalham. So Lee was our head chef here, a good friend, and he's going to be it's just newly open, so it's
brilliant.
His food's delicious. Richard on Benedict Street. Then further afield, like Rebecca and I will go to Moorhall in Oughton. So he just won 3 Michelin stars recently, and it's incredible. And Chapter 1 in Dublin, we love Chapter 1 in Dublin. It's so delicious, and for us, Chapter 1's a real epitome of a perfect restaurant, because it's just really delicious and beautiful. Yeah.
What a great place to spend your free time. All in the name of market research, of course. That's awesome. Well, you've given us some inspiration as well to have a look at those, because there's a few places I've not heard of.
Definitely Lee's going to do some good things for sure.
Awesome. Brilliant. That's all of them. Fantastic.
Done.
Thank you